So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to share over my screen and then do a small little presentation of the foundational components of what we do and what we've done. I've been operating, my wife and I have been operating Transformation Fitness and Wellness for 17 business years, going on 18 on October. We ran a brick and mortar for 16 downtown Indianapolis, and she transitioned over um, about 3 years ago online, pandemic driven. And then we tried to sell our brick and mortar, and it was a viable business, just couldn't find a buyer. So we actually sold our real estate and moved 100% online. And we've taken all those concepts and applied them to a different format of training. So let me share this over and I will show you the presentation here. All right. So again, we can you guys see this okay? Yeah, good. Um, so we broke our program into three different levels. So we have I coach all men on one side, Aaron coaches all women on the other. And then we do a group model, and that's what you guys have access to, and it's the journey of transformation. You may have seen some of that come through. And it's we take the concept from both the models and apply it. So we address nutrition, we address application of workouts, we address the mindset component, and then we do have a higher level optimization where um, we have some of our clients utilize a physician and go into the blood work and do all that fun stuff. But that's a whole different price point, and it's something that Aaron and myself have gone through this last year, and it's been a really good for us from a health standpoint. But anyway, so the program, what we try to do is simplify the process. So give you guys a sustainable system that you can apply to your life to maximize the results and kind of minimize it as far as how long it's going to take in the application. Sometimes more is not always better. There's a balance, specifically as we start to uh, get past the age of 40. There's the things we can't do anymore that we want to do, or how we train may need to be modified. So what we work on is building a foundation. So we try to stack the habits that you guys can do for life, the rest of, anywhere, anytime, and it becomes part of what you do and who you are. So we want to work on obviously energy, confidence, strength that will help with longevity. So the methodology you're going to hear me talk about is we have a foundational component, which we're addressing, and I will talk a little bit about once I jump over in the app. Body recomposition is kind of putting all the pieces together, and that's where you bring in the resistance training, the nutrition, the habit modification, stress management, sleep. All those things are going to help with the body recomposition. And then the total optimization is where you go just a different level, and that's where you would bring in higher level blood work and things of that nature. So that's like our last component of our program. Um, so phase one, and it's kind of hard because you guys are just getting access to it. What we do with each individual is we try to, if somebody's not been able to do resistance training, we won't start them out there. We will start them out just in movement first and get that foundation set. And the foundation is going to be these habits that I have in your dashboard for you guys to check off in your calendar. And it sounds so simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things for us to accomplish. So what we want to really do is kind of reframe and reset the mindset and identity, improve your metabolism, and feed the body with nourishing nutrition, restore movement and recovery, and then build sustainable habits. And it becomes part of what you do. So the recomposition is where the resistance training comes in. Now I've dumped it. Most of you have had some experience with that. So I put some programming in there, and it's going to be different for some of you, and some of you it's going to be familiar with. But it's based upon progressive overload, where you'll do a 4 week cycle and then build on it, and it changes every 4 weeks. But what we want to do with that is build a good foundation of stoking up the metabolic process. So it helps, with fat loss, longevity, overall health. And it's going to help with hormonal balance as well. Insulin response, all those things are going to be very important if a person can consistently do some type of progressive overload or resistance training. Obviously, I want you guys to train smarter, not harder, because again, there's a longevity component. And then we use strategic nutrition to support those changes that will happen with recomposition, percentage of body fat, if that's what you're going after, or if you want to put a little bit more strength on or feel like you need to be able to move better, more energy, be able to do, consistently keep your movement patterns and your strength through the aging process. And then the optimization, that's just again, it's higher level blood work, balance hormones naturally. We try to do that in the program first, but then obviously sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you have to have a higher level help with that. So we teach you guys optimize recovery and energy. That's going to be sleep and stress management, which I'll talk about. So we want to support long-term performance, get you, stronger, leaner, obviously, and that's going to build confidence. This rolls over in different areas of your life. So the nutrition philosophy we don't use one necessarily nutrition plan or a specific diet. We really want to teach you concepts that you can take and utilize wherever you go. So, short ingredients list, less processed foods. We're going to talk a lot about protein. You're going to hear me repeat this quite often. You probably have heard this in the marketplace, in different areas. It's just one of the foundational concepts we can teach from a simple aspect to really help you move the needle forward. So we're going to teach a little bit higher protein intake. It's going to help with managing your insulin response, hunger response, and then hopefully it'll get you into more of a fat loss phase. And it's going to be flexible and personalized to fit your goals. And then we want to make sure it's more sustainable. You can do that for a lifetime. Now, sometimes when you're on a certain nutrition plan, you do have to go in restriction to get the needle to move. That doesn't mean you have to stay there for extended period of time, or a lifetime. The training approach, I try to, those workouts may get you up into an hour, but some people can get through them in a 45-minute frame. I like to have a person do a 3-day cycle, a 3-day lifting cycle, because you have other things to do. You don't have to spend hours and days in the gym. You can be efficient, get in and out, and it's adaptable to your home as well or travel. So I had to build different programs for each, based upon what you guys had available. And then obviously beyond fitness, you're going to hear, and you guys have access to some of the mindset training modules. Over the years being in this industry, the biggest thing that we've worked on as coaches is being able to really get into the mindset and help a person change their perspective or their view of the world to adapt and take these new habits on, and it becomes what they do. That's been the biggest component that myself and Aaron have utilized to help people with sustainability. They have to become a different version of themselves to hold on to those new habits and that new lifestyle. So mindset training has been a big part of our program for multiple years. We're both trained in NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. It's been a great tool for us, as husband and wife and business owners, but it's been really cool to use on our kids and help them navigate different situations. But it's one of those things that you guys will have some access to some modules that really focus on language and patterns of language. So, so we work on the mindset. We want to make sure that we can manage stress, because stress, uh, stress can do a lot of harmful components to us, and it starts to compound and add up. So the training modules I do have, it talks about the central nervous system. It talks about sympathetic and parasympathetic responses, and it has some breathing techniques and some other techniques in there that you guys can adapt and utilize to control your stress response or your central nervous system response. Sleep recovery optimization is so important. It's so important for helping balance hormones. It's going to be important for recovery. So that's one of the things that's overlooked so much. And if you don't monitor it, you don't know. There's so many devices out there now. I have an Aura ring. My wife has an Aura ring. What it does is it monitors all my activity. It monitors my sleep patterns, my deep sleep patterns, and it tells me on a daily basis whether I need to do more work on my sleep or not. So there is technology and tools out there that can help give you more data points to make adjustments on sleep, on movement, stuff like that. So obviously, we want to build these things into your habit and align with your long-term goals. We want to make sure it sticks with you. And then this program is designed for men and women. This is our group program. And depending on what your goals are, some individuals' goals are going to be fat loss. Some individuals' goals is going to be gain strength and mobility. Some individuals' goals is just general health. So depending on what that goal is for you, there will be tweaks within the program. There will be tweaks within more of the nutrition, stress, recovery things, depending on where a person's at and what their goals are. So with that said, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually jump over and into um, the app here. I want to make sure can you guys see this? I'm going to make it bigger, but can you see the screen? Yeah, okay, cool. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you, and then I'm going to just talk about this is inside the app, and obviously I made a dummy account for you guys. This is me. This is just an example. Um, So it has all the data points. If you do have any type of tracker, so if you have an Apple Watch, it will connect to this app. If you have a Fitbit, it will connect. And there's some other devices that will connect, like a Whoop or a Ring. So some of those things are very expensive, and some of them are very affordable. It depends on where you're at. The reason I kind of talk through this is because what that will do is if you have a device that tracks your heart rate, your movement, your steps, even your sleep, that goes a little bit, higher level, it will pull all those data points into a dashboard for you. And then it becomes putting all the pieces together. Okay, how much are you moving? What's your nutrition? What's your workout? So what this app will do is the more data points I have and the more data points that you guys can look at, the more understanding of, okay, here's what I'm doing well, here's where I need to make adjustments. But I just wanted to review that because it says in the front side, but it will connect to all those. If you guys have questions or need help with that or run into some hurdles, I have access to help modules that I could send you that kind of walk you through the process. Um, so that's what that looks like from there. And then nutrition. Let me jump over here. The thing with this meal plan, I don't expect you guys to follow this meal plan. These meal plans are set up for your macros. So what that is your protein, fat, and carb ratios. Most of you guys, I kept you in a balanced program. What I'm saying there is carbs, fats, protein are more balanced. A lot of times, what we do is we may push your protein up to like 40% of your ratio. I don't like to do that in the beginning with people who start into our program because it may feel overwhelming. But what these meals, you can adjust them. You can regenerate them. If there's stuff you don't want, like you can hit regenerate, and it'll build another meal plan. And you can just go through and pick and choose. Uh, I think some of these recipes are a little bit more uh, intensive than you have to be. Uh, but if you guys need more resources with meal plans and you have used Chat GPT, I built a chat that I can share over to you guys. You guys can put your data points in and ask it to build a 7-day meal plan based upon your data points, and it will do that for you. So if I shared it in the beginning, but again, if you guys need other resources, we have them. Again, this is just an example, and it is set up based upon your metabolic process. And again, that's an estimation. What I'm talking about metabolic process is when you take somebody's height, weight, age, it puts it into the equation and it gives you an estimation of your metabolic, what you should be burning each day. Is it 100% accurate? The only way to really get 100% accurate is to do some higher level exercise testing. it's close enough to get us for you to move the needle forward based upon the big picture. So it automatically does that equation and calculation based upon the data points you guys entered. And then you can, I'm going to jump over in the calendar because these it'll show different. This is the web based, and you guys can log in to the web based from your computer or the app based. It does either or. And what you'll see from the app based, you'll see all these things, and it'll say to-do list or things to do on your app. And what I would like for you guys to do, and these are daily tasks. These are habits that we can start stacking. Did you um, did you get your 7 to 10,000 steps in? Yes or no? You can check that off. Did you practice a bedtime ritual? Yes or no? Because again, we work a lot with clients on how can we make our sleep better? How do we get our sleep better? Because again, there's so much benefit in getting your sleep dialed in. Water intake. Did I drink 100 ounces of water? Yes or no? You just check it off. So these things are going to be on a daily rotation. And what we try to do is it becomes a habit of what you do, just like brushing your teeth, right? So, hey, I automatically get, 7 to 10,000 steps. You may or may not. Until you track, we really don't know. And it's quite interesting. I think nowadays, once individuals start tracking, they find out that maybe that they're only getting 2,000 steps in. Well, science and research has shown if we get a person up around that 7,000 mark, that's going to give them enough calorie burn to help with whatever goals they want. And the reason we have the 7 to 10,000 and we don't give you like specific cardio is it's easier to get somebody in a little bit of caloric deficit and not do too much activity and manage their hunger response. And that's why we have movement and steps in instead of just specific cardio. Because anytime you start increasing the demand of activity on yourself, it's a stressor. And if it's intense, it's even more stress. Well, what will happen is you may have a hunger response based upon how much activity you did. And controlling that hunger becomes harder and harder, specifically if you're in a caloric deficit. And that's why we just use movement steps instead of specific cardio because it's easier for somebody to control the hunger response and the stress uh, on the body with movement instead of just like maybe running or a higher intensity cardio. And it's easier for us to keep those stress responses under control with movement instead of specific cardio. And that's why we do it this way. The other thing you'll see on here is you may not see it. Let me see. I don't see my workout. Um, there should be a workout in here, but if not, let me jump over the training programs. It'll pull up here. And you'll see this inside your app. They're specific. Um, they're all 3 days are going to be a total body. You're going to hit all major muscle groups, um, and it will have description. It will have video. I can pull it up and play it. So for each movement, and then it will also have tracking. So that way you guys can keep track of all your weights, all your movements, and it has a timer in there or rest interval built in as well. So this will be under your workouts. I think I dumped all those onto your calendar on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can move them around. I just did that from a technical standpoint. So if you want to move them in different days, the only thing I would say is you probably want you want 1 day's rest in between from resistance training. It gives your body enough time to recoup and recover based upon how I set up the program. Can you do it back-to-back days? Yes, but it's going to be a little bit more stress on your body than we normally like to put on there. So if you can do it with a day's rest in between, that's going to be a little bit better, and it's going to be easier for you to get through the workout. So again, I have a 3 day cycle in there. If and I think somebody asked me this the other day, hey, they're used to doing more cardio and things of that nature, that's fine. You can kind of keep some of your patterns. I would not do other lifting on top of this program that I put in there with you for you guys because it's going to be counterproductive. The program's going to be intense enough if done properly for you guys to kind of move the needle in the direction you want to move it. So I wouldn't try to do other things on top of it necessarily. If you're used to, or accustomed to doing certain type of cardio and a type of cardio training, and you've already been doing lifting, you can still do the cardio training. Again, the thing that we see happen more often than not is if we get you in a caloric restriction and you're doing a higher intensity cardio, it's going to be harder for you to manage your hunger responses. So people typically have a harder time controlling, or they over consume in calories because that's a lot easier to do than burning them off. So it also has goals and habits. This is where that I set up the nutrition. I'll show you guys this. And if anyone feels like their nutrition is high or low, just let me know because we can tweak that and fine tune that some. It gives us a broad number. I try to push it where your guys' BMR was, and sometimes it doesn't line up exactly. So I can go in and edit this based upon goals. So if you guys do feel like yours is off, we can have that conversation. Never hesitate to reach out. We can have a communication or we can book a call. I don't have a problem doing that. But this would set up the meal plan and regenerate the meal plan. Again, I told you this one set up a high protein. I put most of you guys at a balanced. So it's a 30-40-30. It's more traditional or easier to follow. And then again, your full dashboard, this what I was talking about. You probably see that a lot from if you log into your app, and this is where you would go through and say, okay, I took my uh, photos, um, I did my steps. You can check that off. So in your app, you can just go through there and do that. Again, if you have any of the devices that the Fitbit or anything that connects to this, all that stuff is going to be pulled through this dashboard here. So your steps, your calorie burn. Now, if you did a more specific assessment and you can, like an in-body scan, you can track your percentage of body fat in here as well. And it'll track resting heart rate and other things. So like the Whoop, it tracks all this stuff. But it's just a higher, I think those things are like $400 or whatever. So this is more of an investment, but it's a tracking device that will pull all that data points in there. So that's why I was talking about in the front side. Um, and then the progress. So anything you put in here, so you do weekly weigh-ins and things like that, it's going to graph everything out for you. Um, so it's pretty robust. I mean, the main data points that we will go after for you guys is, scale weight, because I would have more conversation with you if we were going after a certain percentage of body fat. I would have you guys go to in-body scan and get one done. There's some local places there in Vincennes that do it, just to get more accuracy, just to see the adaptation, lean tissue, and fat mass. Um, but yeah, so all this is from the app standpoint. Now, I did um, share over some different components with you guys from tracking, and I try to put those videos and stuff because it has a lot of AI in it. What I'm saying there, if you take a picture, I sent you. It's not on my side. Sorry, I can't see it. There it is. Yeah, it is. So I sent you. Oh, actually, came from Aaron. Let me find it again. Yeah, this was the instructions. When you click on it, it will pull up from your phone a link, and when you click that link, it will pull up an app so you can take a picture of your food, and it will give you a breakdown of your food and your macros and how much um, that breakdown is, and it'll come out like this. Let me find the photo real quick. There it is. Passed it up right here. So I had this photo saved, and it's three lobster tails, so it gives you a breakdown uh, from that picture. And then what you can do is you can upload that right into your meal tracking. So used properly, it really simplifies the process for you guys to track your own food. and it makes it as simple as possible. So again, I sent that document over. Again, if you guys have questions about it, never hesitate. I can resend it, and or we can always just jump on a call and walk through it. I don't have a problem doing that. Um, so the other thing it will do, and I showed this earlier. Let me find the other prompt. And, and I'll try to give you guys video resources to this because it may get, there's the other one, a picture of an egg, and it gives you the breakdown of all that. Let me see. Sorry, I find the other one. I think the prompt maybe down here at the bottom. Yes. So if you do this prompt right here in in the message, it will trigger AI to answer. So if you didn't have a picture of your food, or you can ask it this, which is great, but you have to backslash meal help, and you can ask it how many macros do I have left, or how much protein do I need, or how many grams do I need to hit my goal for today if you've already been tracking, and it will spit out because it knows your goal. It basically knows where your macros are set up as from the software, and it'll give you recommendations of what food to eat to try to get closer to your macros. If you're like halfway through your day or at the end of your day, and say, hey, based upon what I've tracked, can you give me ideas of a meal that's going to be perfect for my macros? And it will give you that. So it's quite interesting the technology we have. So again, that prompt is just the slash meal help, and then just be descriptive or ask it about your food, and it will give you a response inside the app. So those are the two things that I sent over. The last thing I want to show you, and you guys, I might have to re-trigger this, is we have courses, a membership course, and it looks like this, and it's under. I'll dump the video down again to show you where it's at inside the app, but it has a little. It's kind of hard to find. It'll say resources on there, and it's hyperlinked. When you click on it in the app, it should pull this course up. I will go through and make sure everybody's dumped down in this course. You may have to set up a login if you haven't. It'll just prompt you to email login. But what this is course content. Kind of explains everything that I just went over. It's going to talk about, um, there, I'll get down here, the coaching, um, the links to get access to, but I've already dumped a lot of that stuff down in your apps. How to track nutrition if you guys need more help with that. Understanding macronutrients. It just gives a breakdown of fats, carbs, proteins, and why it's important to understand that. How can you manipulate them to help you move forward, depending on what your goals are. The importance of protein. Again, you're going to hear me harp on that a lot. We have a low inflammation diet plan in there. Again, we've already given you guys uh, some meal plans, but you can go in and use as a resource. Um, and there are some hormonal components in here. Hey, a few of them I still have to update. I think there's one or two of them in here I have to update, but I'm going to go down. And this is pretty robust. I don't expect you guys to go, this is just resources. So if there's certain areas that you want more help or you feel like you need more education in from a health standpoint, from nutrition, from workouts, stress, sleep, it's all going to be in here. And then I can kind of guide you if you have questions. I'm like, hey, let's go to the module and let's talk about hydration. Let's talk about electrolytes. Let's talk about sleep, the foundation, and how to get that better. Um, why some of these modalities may be good, hot therapies, cold therapies. What can you implement for yourself? Breathing techniques. Again, I talked about stress management. Understanding how to control your central nervous system is very important. Mastering breathing is the easiest technique for you to go back into parasympathetic. So back into fight or out of fight or flight. So controlling your state. And then what I talked about with mindset, there's a whole module on language, goals, future memories, wants, and experiences. So this is just a different way to set goal setting, and it's more based upon NLP training. But then when you go into these modules, power of language and identity, power of meditation, because there's some really good research around meditation. You know, language here, who do I need to become? Controlling your state. You're going to hear me talk a lot about state, and that's your central nervous system. And then there's some techniques in there. Limiting beliefs. There's some resolution formula, and then values test is a really higher level. If somebody wanted to go through that, they have access to it. Just let me know. It's just some training that we had from NLP that a lot of the clients I work with one-on-one, I take them through this because there's a lot of value in it. So again, that's under the mindset training. And then I kind of talked about these different phases, the fat loss phase. This just gives you a breakdown of higher level nutrition. Again, we're going to keep it simple to start, but if you wanted answers or wanted to look at some higher level concepts, I have them in there as well. Because people ask me, hey, should I do fasting? It may work for some people. Some people it's not recommended. It can put another stress or stress response in the body. So if you've heard concepts like this, just never hesitate to ask, and then I can give you resources, and or I'll say, hey, here's what we found. I think fasting works better for men because of the hormonal response. For women, I think it puts more stress, can put more stress in the body. Just depends on the person. Again, they found that there's some time frames to do that. And then, these are again higher level nutritional things. Uh, Carb cycling, refeed days. And then the optimization, again, you guys can kind of look through that. We do, again, we have access to a doctor. It's a higher level, it's a total different component, but some of our clients have hired them to do blood work at a higher level, and they do some optimization stuff and hormonal balances. But we just it educates you. And the name of the company is called Elevation, but there's all is all in the resources under the course. So I'll make sure you guys have access to that. If you don't, we'll get you access to it. It should have triggered in the beginning when you guys came through the process, but I had a few people already reach out and say that they didn't have access, so I'll double check on that. So, all right. From there, I'm going to go ahead and hit stop share. Questions. I know there's a lot. You have access to a lot. My biggest takeaway here for you guys, our biggest takeaway for you guys, is use me. Because I've been doing this for a long time. Actually, I've been in the industry like 25 years, I think. Been working with clients 18 on my own, but 25 years of experience. So I've seen a lot. Our industry's unregulated, so that's the negative component. What I'm saying there is anybody can say that they're a health and wellness expert or a personal trainer. It is what it is. I've dealt with that my whole career base, but just use us. Erin will be popping in, and she was going to jump on as well, but she had a coaching call to jump on her. But she will record her coaching calls and dump them down. And I'll share her podcast over as well. Again, she works with women, specifically 40 plus, but she does work with some younger ones, but helping them with hormonal balance and aging process and stuff like that. So we have a lot of resources, and if you guys have questions, never hesitate. Uh, is there anything that I can answer? Because I'm just going to open up for Q&A, and feel free to bother me. No. If not, if you guys feel like you need more help in certain situations, what I will do is I will share out a booking link so you guys can book a quick call. It can be a phone call and or a Zoom. If we need to dive into some specifics that we need to spend more time in, I don't have a problem doing that. So,
Can you hear
cool.
me?
Yep, I got you.
Okay. Well, I got a bunch of questions.
Sure.
So, one, I mean, I'm still having trouble. Well, first of all, let me just like what adjustments, like, you had the barbell bench press, whatever, and you said at
Okay.
home often travel. So is that somewhere also as far as how you can adjust to that?
Yeah, so you got the barbell bench. Yeah.
Well, I just picked that. I just wrote that one down because it was on the screen at the time. I mean,
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What would work better for you?
oh, I don't know. I just don't want to go to the gym. I have free weights here at
Do
home.
you? Okay.
Yeah,
Then I'll change your program to what do you got? Dumbbells and
yeah,
okay.
dumbbells
Okay.
basically. I got bands and stuff too, but
Okay.
but but um
So what I will do is I'll just flip that over into a dumbbell workout for you. No problem.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I still don't know about this app or this website. I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't
Yeah.
see where any of that stuff. I can't click on it. I can't. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I've made up my password. I'm in there, and but like the courses, the course. I just don't understand how where I'm going.
Okay.
You never like clicked on any like clicking on fasting. Is it just a little synopsis that tells you about it? And then, I mean, then you say course complete whenever you read about it.
No, it should be a video. Is it a video not
There's
pulling
no
up?
videos. I can't click on any videos.
Huh. Then let me double check on that then from my side. Um,
Okay.
so once we get off this call, let me get inside the software and see what's going on with that. Yeah, you should have when you click on that, you should have a video should educational video should pull up and the resources, whatever resources should be tied to that.
Okay. Well,
So it's yeah,
I'm not getting that. And
okay.
but what about the app? I mean, I mean, instead of the website, I mean, where is that, or how do I get that, or whatever? Is
Yeah,
that better? Is it better just to go to website or what?
I mean it depends on the person. So it the app should have came down through one of the emails and it would have prompted you to go to the app store. It depends on what type of phone you have.
I have an iPhone. It's a
Yeah.
6E or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
no, it
went to
should.
I went to the App Store, but it's just searching, but I couldn't find
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
I don't know how to connect it. I don't know how to get on the app.
I got you. So from my side, what I'll do is I'll re-trigger it
Okay.
you should get an email
Okay.
and it should walk you through that process. If it doesn't, just so I'll be in communication with you after this call,
Okay.
and see if we can't get you taken care of. You can do everything from a computer as well, but obviously an app is you got it here and you take to the gym or workout or whatever.
Correct. Correct.
But you can log in from a computer and do all the stuff that you need to do. It's just obviously we have our phones with us 24/7 now.
Right.
So,
Yeah. That's why I was asking about the app because I just couldn't get to it or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So I don't know. We'll get you taken care of, and we'll get you the. I know there's the technology is. Um, we'll get it figured out.
Okay.
From my end, you're good. I mean, you look like you're in there. You've updated some of the information. So
But
I was
I got an email about setting my goals and about just the kind of gym equipment that I have, and I didn't know where to go to update it. I sent a reply
I
back.
will tell you, um, I've gotten all of my emails have went to my regular email except for the email about the app went to my junk email.
yeah, yeah, because it depends on how
That
some of
was
you came through. Yeah, the spam's gonna grab a
was
hold
the
of some of them.
only one that went to junk. Everything else has went to my regular email, but that one because I had trouble with that because that one went to junk. Everyone thing else I've not had an issue with, but that one did go to junk. So you might have one in junk mail.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome because I
I'm
had the same problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, same as Janice. I think I'm right where she is. I don't I don't know how to get to the app.
Okay. So I'll do the same thing. I will. And you guys may check your spam because it may be sitting in there. And I don't know. I can't remember if there's a timer on that or not. What I'm saying there is, do you have to do it in X amount of time? What I will do again, I'll follow up after this call and check on you and see if we can't get you taken care of. Yeah, there's a handful of you guys that I knew probably what was going on. It just you either didn't get the information or it went somewhere else. Um, because your initial stuff came through, but I could tell you guys hadn't been in the app. It gives me a notification that says inactive. So, but I had a handful the other day, and that's why I tried to kick another email out just to see But what we might want to do is check your spam. And what I can do from my side in the app is I can grab a link and email you a link to re-log in or log in.
Okay.
So we may have to do it that way. So we'll figure it out and we'll get you in there. Now, was you able to get into the courses? Anybody else get into the courses?
I can see the courses,
Yeah, but you couldn't. Yeah, but you couldn't get
but
into them.
when I click on it, it has like general information about it, but there
Yeah.
was no video or
Okay.
anything, broke it down or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll double check on that, make sure that th those are working right. Has to be something that's on my side then. Yeah, good. Technology is great when it works.
Right. We know that as educators.
Yeah. You know, we got to stay on top of this stuff because if not, it'll pass you by. Uh, all right. I mean, is there any other questions? So what I'm going to do after the call here is I will be shooting you two a message and trying to make sure we get you on the app properly. Then obviously I'll go through the courses and make sure try to see what's going on with that. But what I'll do is we will have a nutritional coaching call tomorrow. I'll dump down in the app or I'll email it out too. And it'll be a Zoom recording. We go over different topics. We will have different clients on there from our programs to ask different questions about nutrition. Actually, tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to go through a training on how to use the software with the AI that I kind of just briefly showed you. I sent some videos within the app, but if you don't have the app, you don't know. But once we get you logged into the app, you'll see them because I've sent messages to everybody, and it's a quick video of how to take pictures uh, of the uh, of the food and update it into the app and track it. Trying to make it as easy as possible. Once we get past the learning curve of the technology, and it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to kind of track things and put all the things in one place. So, um, so once I get off here, I will. Message both of you. I'll shoot you guys an email, the email I have. Um, what I'll probably do is I'll probably just grab the link from the software and email it to you. And basically, what it's going to do is going to try to get you to either download the app if you haven't, or log into the app if you have. So it'll trigger both, I believe. But we'll be in communication. We'll get you
Okay.
set up.
One more question as
Sure.
far as I mean, I have a Fitbit. It's an old Fitbit, but
Yeah.
what's the process of, is that in the app that'll tell me how to do that? Click on that, like Apple Watch or Fitbit or
Yeah.
what?
So what it will do is once you're inside the app, you just go to
I
that.
have to be inside the app.
Yeah, once because
Okay.
you'll click on the Fitbit itself, and then it will try to link it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. Thank
yeah.
you.
So if you guys have tracking devices, even if your iPhone has, I think the one of the tracking, and it will pull some of the data. It's not as accurate. It just because steps, but the Fitbit, works well. Again, it depends on what you guys have available. So. Well, awesome. I appreciate it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a coaching call every Monday at 4. If you and I'll have different topics. I'll probably do some more nutritional components and maybe more progressive overload resistance training. Uh, so I'll run some educational topics for you guys to go through, and then I'll do a Q&A as well. But we'll get you guys going and up to speed. And Jens, I will change your program to dumbbells and bands. And I have that. I just didn't know. That was kind of the hardest part because some of people's information came through, and I just was reading it based upon some of the information, and then I tried to match the program based upon what they had. So I'll just change yours. And if somebody else needs that, I have the access of changing those programs and stuff and giving you more. So, all right. Well, once I get off here, I'm going to be shooting you guys those emails and see if we can't get you taken care of. All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will talk with you soon.